Yo, whether you watching from Facebook, from Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, moviepilot.com, or YouTube itself. What up, world? I just saw X-Men Apocalypse, the third movie in the second trilogy of the confusing as hell X-Men timeline movie series. And it follows X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past. If you've seen Days of Future Past, you know that we got a new timeline. Everything before has pretty much been erased unless you're Wolverine, who remembers everything that went down. It stars James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Oscar Isaac, Nicholas Hoult, Olivia Munn, Cody Smit-McPhee, Rose Byrne, Alexandra Shipp, Ben Hardy, Lana Condor, Ty Sheridan, Sophie Turner. It's a pretty stacked cast, and it's directed by Bryan Singer, who, if you know anything about movies, you know he did X-Men, X2, X-Men Days of Future Past. He did Superman Returns. He did Valkyrie. He did The Usual Suspects. But he's got a pretty stacked filmography. If you want to get a shout out in my review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, stay tuned to the end of this video to figure out how you can do that. This movie starts practically from the post-credit scene of Days of Future Past. It basically shows the birth of the version of Apocalypse that we see in this movie. Something happens to him to where he isn't wrecking the world back in that day. So we fast forward to the 80s. First Class was the 60s, Days of Future Past was the 70s, Apocalypse is the 80s. So it shows how Cyclops gets his powers. It takes us to the school for gifted youngsters, and he's running a pretty successful school, not really training X-Men or anything quite yet. This leads to that, and he ends up having to get the squad together because Rose Byrne's character comes back in flawlessly, like she was a part of the last movie. Professor X observed what she's doing because that leads to Apocalypse coming to the 80s, and then they go from place to place to try to beat him basically. Man, if you're anything kind of close to similar to me, then you've been on the roller coaster that's been the X-Men movie franchise for 16 years, through all the ups, all the downs. You've seen them all. Tried not to dislike The Last Stand, tried not to dislike Origins. They're weak as hell, but then you get the Days of Future Past, the X2, the Wolverine, the First Class, and this has been a solid series. And man, this is another entry into that solid series. I don't pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes. Batman v Superman got 28%. That's like my fourth favorite movie all year. I'm not paying attention to Rotten Tomatoes. This got a weak ass Rotten Tomatoes score too, from what I understand. I love this cast. Like, the original series had a solid cast. I wasn't ever a fan of James Marsden, but he worked as Cyclops, even though he got robbed out of The Last Stand. James McAvoy, and I love Michael Fassbender as Professor X and Magneto. They're back and forth. You just feel all the emotions between them, man. I rewatched First Class and I rewatched Days of Future Past over the past couple days. I love their dynamic. Like, man, Magneto is such a tragic character, man, and he goes through even more tragedy in this movie. Jennifer Lawrence, man, I dislike how in the original series Mystique was a side character. She was Magneto's little ride or die chick. And now, because she's played by Jennifer Lawrence, she has to be front and center, especially in these last two movies. She was in Days of Future Past. Cool little cute little actress from Winter's Bone. She gonna be in there, and we gonna just see where Mystique goes. Oh snap, the Hunger Games blew up. More Mystique, more Mystique, more Mystique. And I love how they flipped her into an anti-hero. She be switch hitting every single movie. She's fighting for her own cause. She's siding with Magneto. She's siding with Xavier. And she's more hero in this movie than not. Has some interactions with Nightcrawler and with Quicksilver that I thought were pretty funny, and then she takes more of a leadership role amongst the good guys in this one. They show that in the trailer. Side heroes, like, the new X-Men or whatever they're gonna call them. I mean, Nightcrawler was cool. I thought Cody Smit-McPhee wasn't gonna make a good Nightcrawler, to be honest, but he killed it. Ty Sheridan killed it. Sophie Turner killed it. I can't wait to see them evolve into the older Cyclops and Jean that we know. And then fucking Quicksilver, man. Like, you thought that one scene in Days of Future Past was great, man. He's got like two standout scenes in this movie. And then Oscar Isaac, man, Poe Dameron as the villain. I don't think his color was off. I don't think his portrayal was whack. Like, he was a villain in the sense of he just wanted to rid the world of the weak. Human, mutant, it didn't matter. We're gonna break down this world, and on its ashes we'll build a better one. Like, you felt that throughout as far as his motivation. He just wanted the most powerful beings surrounding him, but he just got bucked when anybody tried to challenge him. The position that Xavier has as far as Apocalypse master plan, like, that was crazy. I didn't see that coming, and I really felt him as a villain. And then, like, the setting, man, they made it as 80s as possible, from hairstyles to wall posters to billboards, whatever you got to see as far as surroundings in the environment. Like, it all worked. Made a real blink and you miss it, if you ain't paying attention you'll miss it dig at, low key, at all part threes, not just X-Men The Last Stand, but at all part threes. So that was pretty funny. And from the most recent trailer, man, everybody knows Wolverine is in this movie. It's a cameo. I love that they built an X-Men movie that didn't revolve around Wolverine, but he's in it. There at the end of his scene, there's a funny comment, and it works, and it kind of fixes X-Men Origins. And of course, just like Days of Future Past, there is a post-credit scene. I don't know if it's supposed to set up the next X-Men movie or Wolverine 3, but there is a post-credit scene. Say, like, if I had to complain about anything, I guess I would say that I feel like the stories for First Class and Days of Future Past were tighter than this one. The story for this one is still good, and it's still followable, and it's still interesting. I just don't feel like it was as tight, especially toward the beginning. With all that being said, man, Bryan Singer did it again, man. Bryan Singer has not made a weak X-Men movie. And in my opinion, X-Men Apocalypse is dope as fuck. So have you seen X-Men Apocalypse? Let me know what you think of X-Men Apocalypse, please. Rank the First Class trilogy, if you will. I would say Days of Future Past, First Class, Apocalypse. But in no way is Apocalypse a weak movie at all. This one lame on my Instagram talking about it was garbage. I ain't even reply. I just disagreed in my head. So if you want a shout out in my Ninja Turtles review, guess within $2 million, higher or lower, what is Alice in Wonderland gonna finish at the box office this weekend? Get your guess in. Be the first one to guess correctly. 2 million higher or 2 million lower. Try to be right on. And get that shout out if you right. No matter what you watching, no matter what social media platform, tag me in your ticket stubs. Whether you watching X-Men, whether you watching Alice, Neighbors, Angry Birds, The Nice Guys, Money Monster, Captain America, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, tag your boy. And check out my recent videos, man. Reviews for The Nice Guys, Angry Birds, Neighbors, Cap, Money Monster, May releases, April releases. Check them out. I want to see Through the Looking Glass tomorrow. Next weekend, I want to see Ninja Turtles. And I want to see that pop star shit. Don't ask why. I just want to see the Never Stop, Never Stopping. And then the week after that, Now You See Me 2 comes out. Stay tuned for all them videos. I got a movie talk coming at the end of the month. Like the last day of May, I'll post it. Like, subscribe, comment. Find me where you find me, man. Peace.